Hello, everyone, and welcome to World Curling TV, where our special guests today are Canadian rink team Einarson. Hi, guys. Thank you very much indeed for joining us. I'm in Glasgow in Scotland. Can you tell me whereabouts you are around Canada and give us some idea of where you're located? We'll start with you, Kerry.
I'm located about an hour north of Winnipeg in a small town, Gimli, Manitoba. And then I live just outside of that, which is like 5 minutes in Camp Morton.
Right. And what about you, Val?
Right now, I'm about 2 and a bit hours northeast of Edmonton in St. Paul, Alberta.
Right. And Shannon?
I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba.
And Brianne, where are you?
I'm about 45 minutes north in a town called Petersfield, Manitoba.
Right, so we know you're all in Canada. We know roughly where you are in Canada now. We'll talk curling specifically at the moment, but let's just see what it's been like for you guys. These challenging times over the last few months. How has it been? How have you been managing your lives? We'll go back to the skip, I think, Kerry.
Things we've been managing pretty well. For myself, not too much has changed as I am working in a elderly facility. So I have to wear the full PPE, and I've been going to work since the COVID started. We've had a scare earlier in April. But it ended up being a false positive, so which was good. But really not too much has changed for me, and other than my children not being able to go to school. But now they've been off all summer. But yeah, things have been, we've been doing okay here.
But you've been right on the front line then. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a rehab assistant at a Bedell Home Foundation in Gimli.
And what's the pandemic been like where you are? How bad has it been, or what's the status?
Well, it was getting good, but now it seems to be spiking a little bit. So we had just recently started letting family members come into our facility, which is kind of scary now that things have picked up again. So I'm one of the people who screen in some of the family members, and we just started that this week. So it's kind of scary for them, because I don't want any of them to get sick or bring it into our facility. So we're just all taking our precautions and making sure everyone's safe.
It has kind of become a way of life, managing during the pandemic. What about you, Val? How's things been for you?
Things have been a little bit different here. My work and everything kind of shut down when we got back from Prince George. And so I was actually off for a while, which worked out well because my son was out of school. So I was able to stay home with him, and so I was off for quite a while, and then just recently started teleworking, and been kind of back and forth between Edmonton and St. Paul here. So, but yeah, we've been managing well, and just been trying to make the most of the time off and time together that we've had, and just getting back into the swing of things here. And if school's open up soon, my son will be back in, but you know, it's kind of day by day. Things change, and just got to go along with it.
So the virus hasn't been too bad where you are. Is that fair?
In Edmonton, there's quite a few cases. So we've been fortunate to be out in St. Paul, where there's little to none out here. So yeah, I was safe so far, and just trying to keep our risk low.
Right, I saw the dog trying to get in the action. How have you been getting on?
It's because I just got home, so now he's like, I want to see you, and I'm like, get out of here. But I think he went lay on the couch now, so we have a little time away from him.
So how have you been getting on?
Same has been for me too. I kept working too, so it didn't change too much. But everything's been good for me. Same old, just go to work, go home. I work in the city, so I just have only been pretty much there for the city, and then I just come back to Petersfield. It's a small town, so not too much is going on. But yeah, like Carrie said, it was going well, and then the numbers spiked up quite a bit lately, but we're hoping it goes back down. But other than that, it's been not too bad for me.
Yeah, coping okay. And Sharon, what about you? What's been your life like?
My life didn't change too much due to the virus. I already worked from home. I'm self-employed. So that aspect didn't change. But I actually bought a house during this whole time. So I moved. And so that was definitely interesting, looking for houses during COVID, and just the whole move-in process. But we are definitely fortunate in Manitoba. We are one of the provinces that hasn't really been hit the hardest, and the girls have kind of alluded to us having a bit of a spike, and but that's nowhere near kind of numbers you're seeing in like the US and that kind of thing. It's like we only have, I think we have 180 active cases around there right now. So, but we did have about a 2-week stretch of 0. So that's where there's a little bit of fear, because obviously that can grow exponentially. But I think as long as everybody kind of just keeps on going with the guidelines put out by the government, then I think we should be okay, and it should stabilize again.
Can I take you back to all those months ago, Shannon, when we were in Prince George, all set for the World Women's Curling Championship, and it was cancelled? Can you remember, I guess you can, how you felt when you knew you weren't going to be able to take to the ice?
Yeah, we were all pretty devastated. We all kind of gathered in our coach's hotel room, and you know, there were definitely some tears, because you know there was a lot of anticipation. We'd worked really hard to get there, and at that point in Canada, at least, the full, you know, we didn't really understand how big of a deal COVID was at that very moment. And within a matter of days, like literally 3 days later, everything shut down and closed. And that was the big eye opener for us, I think. And so, yeah, it was definitely hard news, but it was completely the right thing to have been done. So,
yeah. And the difficult thing though for you guys was everything had been going so well up until then. The team was really gelling, and you were in really good shape, weren't you, Brianne?
Yeah, we felt really great at the Nationals. We were playing really well, and we had a good, momentum going. So we were excited to play in the Worlds, and it was the first Worlds that any of us had played in. So Shannon had been before, but she didn't get to play the whole event. So it was really exciting for all of us, and that's why it was such a bummer when we weren't able to play, because we just felt like we wanted to take that momentum with us for that event, and we thought we would play well again and hopefully place. So I know he's too much. Do you have something to say too, Finn? So we were really hoping to carry that forward, and we were positive and optimistic that we would medal, and that would have been really awesome. But now we'll never know what could have happened, but we're just hoping that we can put ourselves in that position going forward in the future and hopefully have that chance again.
Yeah, and the thing is, in Canada, unlike other countries, you have so much depth and quality in the women's game, and there's lots of very, very good teams there. So you're going to have to be really good to come out of that going forward, Kerry, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely playing out of Canada. It's tough to get out of our country, so it's really an honor to be able to wear that Canada flag on our backs. And it's too bad that we didn't get to do that, but everyone's health and safety is much important at that point. So it was tough to take the news, but I remember sitting in Jen's room, and my watch went off, and I looked down, and I was like, no. And yeah, it was really sad and devastating, but as long as everyone's healthy and safe.
So Val, remind us, people that don't know, how you all got together in the first place. It was for the 2018-2019 season, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 2018. Yeah, after every kind of Olympic year, there's usually some shakeups, and Carrie and I were chatting, and she had already been talking to Shannon and Brianne, and I just kind of threw my name out there, and luckily they said yes. So yeah, it's been an amazing couple of years together, and I'm so happy for how far we've come and excited to see how much further we can go.
And it's important that you get on off the ice, Kerry, isn't it, as well? That your friends off the ice, teams that kind of do well, are generally good mates, aren't they?
Yeah. We spend so much time together in the winter that in the summer we like to do our own thing and keep in touch. But yeah, you have to love playing with your team, and I definitely love having these girls playing in front of me. We definitely get along on and off the ice, so that's a huge thing to a team's success.
What about this whole skip thing, that skips can't all play together, that they can't have 4 skips in one team? Who wants to tackle that one?
We proved everyone wrong.
It is an adjustment, isn't it?
Yeah,
I'll let you guys take that one.
it was a huge adjustment, sweeping wise, at least. We knew that going into it, that we were gonna be putting our bodies through a lot more than we had as skips, and it definitely took a toll on us all at some point during that first season. But I know that personally I was extremely ready to make a change to a new position, and without putting words in their mouths, I'm pretty sure Val and Brianne were also on the same page, and that's kind of what allowed us to just slide into our new positions a lot easier. So we weren't really, we were 4 skips previously, but that's not how we were as a unit. So
Brianne nodding away there.
Yes, agreed.
And what do you think has made you gel so well, actually, in quite a relatively short space of time? Because lots of team have been playing for a lot of years together. You actually pretty much gelled quite quickly, didn't you, Brianne?
Yeah, we all have a lot of the same goals. Like, honestly, they're probably all the same goals, and dedication, and our work ethic is all very similar. So that makes it really easy, because you just know that your teammates are all doing what they can to be their best, and you don't have to check in with them in that way. You just trust it because you know what kind of people they are, and that's really nice. So that helps a lot in that way. And then we just take it to the ice, and we're all really good with criticism, and we just want to be the best at whatever we're doing. So we all like to take each other's opinions and try to be better in whatever way we can. So it really makes us gel well together.
And Shannon, what have you been told, or what have you learned from Curling Canada about how the season might progress? Have you been given any guidelines yet?
We've been kind of given guidelines for, what a game situation might look like, and how a team should be spaced out. They're recommending doing 1 sweeper, and the other team won't have any interaction with the team during their shot. So no sweeping behind the tee line. the other team can't sweep like a tick shot or something like that. And then just kind of keeping our space away from them and each other while on the ice. We don't really know what events are going to be happening, unfortunately. So we're waiting. Hopefully we'll hear in the next couple of weeks a little bit more clarification on what's going on with that. We're hopeful to play in a few this fall, but if not, we're kind of making plan Bs, Cs, Ds, Es, and Fs, just trying to make something work so that we're still getting time on the ice, even if that means just doing training camps together and maybe organizing scrimmages against other teams. So,
but I guess the ultimate goals are, Kerry, are still the same.
Yeah, of course, our goals haven't changed, and for us, we have our trial spot, so we aren't really panicking as a lot of teams may be panicking. But so we're lucky in that way. So we'll definitely want to train hard and do what we can in our off season to keep in shape, and then hopefully we can get on the ice soon and start practicing. I've always dreamt of wearing that maple leaf on my back and representing Canada, and it's always been a dream of mine. So I hope one day that I will be able to do that and not just wear it around my house.
And Brianne, Olympics is a goal too, isn't it, for every Canadian curler? That's the ultimate.
Yeah, for sure. The Olympics is the ultimate goal. We really were excited to play in the Worlds though as well, and that would have been a huge stepping stone and great experience for us before the Olympic trials, but it is what it is, I guess, and we all hope that we can get there again at some point. But I guess now our goals just adjust to this season, and hopefully there will be a Scotties and everything like that as normal, but we'll have to see. And then hopefully we have a good trials, and maybe we'll be able to wear the maple leaf in the future if everything goes really well.
And Shannon, this team, what have they got? Do you think they've got what it takes?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think we've grown so much in the last 2 years, and at a very fast rate. I always think back to our week at the Scotties, and some of the games that we put together there were just phenomenal. I think everybody's confidence was sky high, and some of the shots being made were just amazing. So just knowing that we can do that in a high pressure situation at an event where we all, dream to play at and dream to win is pretty special. And I think that's something we can take forward into other big events like the Scotties this year, if that's going to happen, the Worlds if we're able to represent Canada again, and hopefully the Olympic trials. So.
Well, that's ending on a nice, positive, optimistic note. Thank you very much indeed, guys, for joining us. I know you've taken time out of work and things like that to be with us. Good luck for 2020 and 2021 season, and see you on the ice hopefully very soon.